Welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We are your hosts, Mike Meals.
Joey Puma, the Puma. We are back.
Season 2, Episode 1.
We didn't get canceled
This
yet.
ain't Star Wars, let me tell you. But wow, we did a whole season. 2025 was fantastic, man.
Yes, it was, man. We had so much fun. We had a great opportunity to get out this information for people, and again, have fun with our staff, have fun, with each other. It was a great season overall.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because we got plenty of time till the season begins.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of information. You got to let us know what you think. Ask us questions. Feel free to tag us in some stuff. Starts or sits. You got dynasty drafts coming up, rookie drafts.
I mean, especially, what are we? We're in March now. A month from now, we're going to be talking about fantasy drafts, especially the rookie one for dynasty. And then you have the real draft. Then we will know the destination of these young, hot rookies. And they could be a future keeper for you guys.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Puma. I've been looking around. I'm on social media, obviously. We see the rankings come in.
Yeah.
Compared to even, I guess you could say, the top analysts, let's go with the top people, ESPN, Yahoo, Matthew Berry's, all these guys of the world, the Field Yates. I mean, I see the rankings. I'm not too convinced. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we bring to the table are more realistic rankings. Sometimes you see people shoot up boards so high, and
right.
In the fantasy world, everybody's a guru now, right? Everybody's an analyst. They all know. They're all big NFL analysts. Bullshit.
Try going to 7 Super Bowls.
But I'm going to say, listen, the work speaks for itself. Puma himself, fantastic when it comes to football knowledge. We're proven, decorated fantasy guys, and this year really proved it. We nailed a lot of things in 2025.
Right.
And then remember, at this time last year, we were in the preseason, and we were nailing stuff like we're about to right now.
Some predictions. And we're going to have our prediction show soon as well, too. Stuff that we truly feel can happen in the year 2026, whether it be opportunity for certain guys that are behind starters that will be, departing to other new places, new faces. So for us, we feel like this is very big, very key, because now, and when you're drafting in your drafts in the summertime, we get to see who's hot, who's not. And we saw a lot of that last year. My biggest thing was I was so down on AJ Brown, and he was sleeping with the fishes. And I know you had a couple of guys that you were really down about.
And we had guys we were big on.
Oh my God, remember when I was mentioning Javonte Williams and you looked at me like I was nuts?
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about him later on today. I mean, and good news for him. So yeah, you're right, dude. And that's what it comes down to, is following during the off season, hearing all the moves, because the moves from day one, it's all a domino effect.
Yes.
You can see the teams building, how they're forming, what routes they want to go, what direction they're headed in. And there were some notable moves so far.
Absolutely. And let's get into them.
Well, we called this episode the NFL free agents, tags, and trades. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to talk about Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, who's the real 101. I mean, we had a lot of information. So let's start with tags. We got to go with our number one guy, bro. That's the guy we got to talk about.
Breece Lightning.
As diehard Jet fans, let me ask you first, man. How do you feel about Breece Hall getting the tag?
Well, listen, as a Jet fan, and especially as a fantasy fan, it's really great to see if guys stay with their teams, right? I mean, a lot of Giants fans, they're probably still sulking about Saquon Barkley and how he left. Breece Hall is our Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
And, keeping your own is very big. We kept Garrett Wilson. I know Sauce didn't end up staying, but nevertheless, offense first. So, Breece Hall, I think this could be very, very, very opportunistic, because now we have a team full of picks. We could surround him with more talent. Like I was talking to you before we started the show, offensive line, right? 3 out of the 5 starters are all first-round picks. You got AVT coming back, Membu, and what was the kid from Penn State?
Fashana.
Right. So, and you got Tittman. So,
yeah.
With those dudes up there, those big dudes, I feel like it could be prosperous for Breece Hall. And he's run behind them before. We just need a competent quarterback. The tag, I believe, is 14.5.
14.5, yeah.
Yeah, for 1 year. So, again, I personally, this is just to say, okay, he's going to be ours. But theoretically, I would like a long-term deal worked out with, just because it's easier on budget.
Yeah.
And we know that there's some guarantee he'll be with us beyond 2026.
And honestly, I think for me, this indicates that, listen, he can have a much better and more productive year. He's got reasons now to perform. He's got a 1-year contract, and he knows he can get paid the big bucks after this year if he has another great year. And at the end of the day, how much worse could you have gotten last year? You know, with that team and that offense they had, and he was somewhat productive, I guess. What did he finish at? RB 18?
Correct.
So RB 18 in 2025, it's a mid-level RB 2. He's got RB 1 potential. And
of course. I mean, SI came out with a rankings 2 years ago going into the summer where, AMC got hurt.
Yep.
But Breece Hall was ranked number 2.
Yeah.
Before the Bijan and the Jahmyr Gibbs wave came.
I was in leagues when you saw him got taken first.
Yeah, so, I mean, unless you're a diehard Jet fan, he is a top 5 running talent. It's having the team around him to support. And last year, we didn't have that. This year, I feel like we can, like I said in the beginning, we have all those picks. We need to utilize them.
And he's one of those guys, like I said, a lot of people are kind of down on him, like, saying, oh, he's got the handcuffs on him still, poor Breece Hall, you know. You've seen the meme of him punching the walls and stuff. I mean, it's all AI generated, but my point is, I think you have to look on the bright side for Mr. Breece Hall, you know.
And he said something that I love and is such a Puma quote, I'll bet on myself, right? To paraphrase, right? Right. He said, listen, I'll take the 14.5. I'll bet on myself because I know I am that talented and I'll get more. And you can't ask for anything more than a motivated player. I know there's some rumors out there he didn't want to be on the team. He wants to just be there to get paid. Hey, nevertheless, he's there, right?
He is.
Let's work out a deal. Darren Muhi or Muji, whatever you want to call him. Listen, he's got more rope than Aaron Glenn. Work out a deal. Keep our running back. And let's keep the talent there. So when we find that quarterback, it's just insert and play.
In terms of fantasy, though, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about it. So we'll see how he does. Always, any Jets player that gets drafted in fantasy, it always comes with a buyer beware tag. So just be aware. Yeah, sure, him and Garrett Wilson are probably the only valuable assets on the Jets, but be aware when you're drafting him. The next guy, franchise tag, Kyle Pitts. I mean, this is, for me, something that wasn't that important. A lot of his production last year came with no Drake London, also with Kirk Cousins, who's probably going to leave. And he finished at the tight end too. Granted, listen, 45 of those points were in week 15, but who's counting? So to me, I feel like his value is heavily inflated. So despite him getting the franchise tag, I think that's probably the worst thing that could have happened for him. If he went somewhere else, he'd probably have more of a chance to do better. I don't think you should expect him to finish anywhere in the top 5 this year if Penix comes back and Drake London's healthy.
You see, and I think indifferent on that. I'm going to give you a little pushback. With Kevin Stefanski, hey, listen, we can't always agree. With Kevin Stefanski coming in,
new coach,
new coach. Again, we're gonna get to this in a moment, but them getting rid of Algier, having that RB1 workhorse in Bijan, but also too, Stefanski loves to go to the tight ends. Look what he did with
Njoku,
and then last year the rookie Harold Fannin. He always produces a top 10 tight end in his offenses. So someone with Kyle Pitts' talent, don't be surprised if he's a tight end 1 and a top 3 option. I truly believe he does have the talent. He just needed to find the great system for it and the utilization. I mean, look who he was with, Arthur Smith, who's terrible, and Raheem Morris. So nothing to write home about. Stefanski is an offensive wizard. I feel like it will just only better Kyle Pitts.
Hey, we'll see. I mean, he's the ultimate meme, this guy.
Yeah, ultimate potential unicorn player.
So next thing, and I have to say beforehand, I feel the same way about this player. George Pickens, he got tagged by the Cowboys. He will be returning another season alongside Mr. CeeDee Lamb. And honestly, I wasn't too convinced last year with those numbers. I'm not going to buy so high on a guy like this who finished wide receiver 5, knowing that half the season, CeeDee Lamb wasn't even there.
I mean, Mike, there were some games where he disappeared.
Completely.
I mean, look at that Commanders game on,
Yep.
Christmas. There's a handful that Thursday night against.
That was championship week.
Right, the Thursday night against the Lions. It was the start of playoffs week. I feel like at times, if Pickens is more mental, and at times he just doesn't rise to the occasion, and he gets blanketed, and he gets lost.
And he gets flustered.
And he gets flustered.
He gets angry.
I mean, you see the comments between him and Sherman, Richard Sherman from Thursday Night Football going back and forth. This is great for George Pickens and Dallas, but it's probably better for Dallas because you don't want to give a whole CeeDee Lamb price tag to a second wideout. You see the problems now that the Bengals are having T. Higgins and Jahmyr Chase. They can't even keep their pass rusher.
Yeah.
So from a financial state of mind, this isn't as bad as it looks. For me, I love the deal. Keep him on that. If you could get something in return draft pick-wise later down the road, sure. But for right now, this is good as he is.
In terms of fantasy, definitely this keeps Dak Prescott relevant.
Right.
This even helps a guy like Javonte Williams having another weapon that can push the ball.
CeeDee Lamb.
Bring him to the goal line, and
because to take that attention away.
He needs it.
Yeah.
100%. And honestly, I think we can expect more from him this year, Mr. CeeDee Lamb, but that'll be another segment for another day. Who's the last guy? Oh, we got a transition tag there. You see that?
Yeah, little Danny Dimes.
Mr. Daniel Jones coming back from an Achilles injury. Transition tag.
A little transition. For me, this is one of the wild cards. Transition tag, basically, folks, it just gives, hey, I'm walking here.
What's a transition tag?
So it just gives opportunity to other teams to make a bid for that player. And if they cannot come up with the same bid, then the Colts automatically get to have him.
Yeah.
For me, I like this because let's see where his market's at without him being just a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts have, it's almost like a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like the Colts are in play for Kyler Murray, which we will get to.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts pretty much gave Anthony Richardson free reign to go out and seek trades, see his value, see his worth. So they're tagging Jones. Then they had that quarterback. What was his name? Oh my goodness.
The one before Jones?
No, the backup, the rookie backup for the Colts.
Oh, Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard. Oh
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Listen, week 17, granted it was week 17, but he looked pretty good. And then in week 18, he looked good also. So
it needs reps. Kid needs reps.
Totally. But to me, I guess it's in limbo for everybody over there. At least they're trying to keep the offense moving.
Right.
I'm worried for Michael Pittman.
Yes.
And I'm worried for
my boy
Josh
Tyler.
Downs.
How about Tyler Warren?
Tyler,
he came on strong. He was so good the first 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And after that, it was frustrating. It actually switched to Colston.
I still think that he'll be a valuable, maybe low-end tight end one at worst. Like, he's still going to be a tight end
I'm saying it right now. I'm taking Kyle Pitts over Tyler Warren.
Wow. What about Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren?
Yes.
I'm going Colston Loveland all day over
all day. I think that going into next year, you're looking at a new top 3 with Loveland leading the way, Kyle Pitts, and maybe a little bounce back from our boy Sam Laporta Potty.
Oh, the top 3 of those guys? No Trey McBride, no Brock Bowers?
Listen, at the end of the day, sometimes guys can't always be a Travis Kelce. They take off.
Trey McBride, though, I mean.
Listen, dog. We don't know how Matt LaFleur's offense is going to be. He was so successful with the Jets. So, we want to make sure how that offense takes over.
And in terms of fantasy right now, it's tough to evaluate where you see Colts players yet until we know more about the quarterback position.
Correct.
But obviously we know the talent. Jonathan Taylor's still got to be a lock.
Yeah.
He'll still be a first-round pick this year. And then, pay attention for quarterback. That's why you got to watch us. So now we got the key signings and declinings. The declinings, the people that are leaving, that aren't making any noise. They're going to a different team. Rejection. Let's start with the good one. You talked about your boy Javonte Williams.
Former Tar Heel dog. He got a 3-year extension with the Cowboys, which
unbelievable.
Deservedly so.
Definitely.
But because it's deservedly so earned, I don't think that it should have been given.
Wow.
Now, here's why.
3 years is a little much for me also.
3 years is a little bit much for me. I would have been one and done. Honestly, you're going to think I'm crazy. I would, because of the talent that's out there and in the draft, I would have franchised Javonte, traded Pickens.
Yeah, for more
and got the haul. Got the picks. I could always move up in the draft to get a Carnell Tate or a Mekhi Lemon, pair him with CeeDee Lamb. Now I'm injecting some youth. With this move, you're kind of staying stagnant. And that's why the Cowboys have always failed once they find good players, is because they signed Ezekiel Elliott too long. They signed Dez Bryant too long. And sometimes these guys wear out their welcome. Right now, Dak has been the best signing out of all of them.
Of course.
But other than that, they're just a little bit too long in the tooth, and I think this one will come back to bite them. Nevertheless, 2025 was a great season. RB2 all the way, mid-round pick. He's a 4th, 5th round pick. Great value. Again, you still got to take Javonte. He's getting the full workhorse load. So RB2 all the way. Again, it just gives someone to get those carries in the backfield, but I wouldn't have approached it this way.
So next notable topic, Kenny Walker. Mr.
K9.
Kenneth Walker III.
9W.
So this is big news. Mr. Super Bowl MVP, the reigning champion, the Seattle Seahawks, already said that they will be moving on. He's priced out a little too early right now, almost $14 million a year. And as of now, they're saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are leading the race. They're looking to be the number 1 team to pick him up. To me, I think it's huge, especially with Pat Mahomes coming back. If that really does happen, this gives tremendous value to a guy like Kenny Walker. But all dependent on where he goes.
Right, all dependent on where he goes. I mean, I even heard some rumblings from my sources. The New York Giants,
Yep.
You pair him with the Scatterboo, maybe ship off Tyrone Tracy. But I think ultimately, Mike, his value is in Seattle. And, once the smoke clears, I think they get a deal done to bring him back. Because where are they going? Charbonnet won't come back till October, November, the latest. They need running back help. Even though they did win a Super Bowl and a championship, maybe they go for one in the first round to end the first round at 32. But this isn't a running back heavy class, other than the Jeremiah Love like we just spoke about. So for me, Kenneth Walker's destination is already where he is, and that's where he's most valued. But Kansas City could be a great pickup.
Could be huge. And I get
fantasy. Oh my gosh.
This is one of those things where you kind of have to wait and see. His value will be determined based on where he goes. And I think personally, already people seeing the potential of him going back to Seattle, some people are a little too high on him. This goes back to what I said earlier. I was just telling Puma, somebody had him ranked online, a very notable fantasy analyst, had him ranked RB12. For me, just because you have a great Super Bowl doesn't mean you're going to be, jumping the rankings that high. To me, I think that you have to be realistic and remember who Kenny Walker was prior to this monster Super Bowl game. And remember, the Super Bowl games don't always dictate exactly what you're going to, or reflect on how the player is going to be the next year. We saw with Xavier Worthy, monster 2 touchdowns. We were so big on him. What happened to him last year?
Exactly. Guys, again, like relevancy, and then all of a sudden they're like not on this planet. But for me, if he does go to Kansas City, Mike, maybe he etches out top of the second round. But other than that, you can't overreach for a guy that's never had that many touches before. Because again, just like we spoke about it at break, this was the first time he was a lead back. The 15 weeks prior, he was sharing, if not getting taken over by Charbonnet. You saw every time when they were in the goal line, it was either A.J. Barner, tush push, or It was Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
That's what it was until the injury. Then it became the Canine show. So for me, he really didn't come on until week 16 to 19, which is the Super Bowl. So for me, I feel like if people want to rank him that high, sure, let them overdraft him, because for you and I, we'll take the value. More for us.
I was gonna say he's a little overpriced for me right now.
Very.
So I'm gonna stay away until I see some things change. Next one, Kyler Murray. Nothing too notable here. Listen, the guy was a decent quarterback.
I think it's the biggest free agent right now.
Yeah, in terms of NFL, he's the biggest quarterback free agent there is.
Yeah. What's a destination that you would love to see him go to?
I mean, honestly, of course, people want to say they expect me to say the Jets, but that's not the case. I guess I'd really like to see him with the Vikings. I think you give Justin Jefferson a chance to have somebody, because as of right now, J.J. McCarthy is another one that the Vikings are actively looking to move on from. They need somebody to get their star player the ball.
Well,
and he's the best available.
Mike, my sources have told me all 31 teams. Maybe it'll be 32 and the Cardinals jump back into it. But 31, because when Kyler Murray becomes a free agent, as the new league enters into the following Wednesday from now, he will be getting the league minimum.
Yeah,
so
because he's already getting paid.
Right, he's already getting paid from the Cardinals. It'll be kind of like a Kirk Cousins situation from Atlanta when he's disposed of. So for me, Kyler Murray is in the interest of everyone, because what better backup quarterback could you get if you are the LA Rams, who are going all in, or you are the Green Bay Packers? Rams, you have an older quarterback. Packers, Love hasn't been able to stay healthy, etc. He is a viable candidate for all 31 teams. Where I think he ends up is, like you said, my friend, either Minnesota or, I hate to say it, and you and I are in disagreement about it, but I could see him end up with the New York Jets, just because
I can see it too.
Woody loves to try to sell tickets, and he's going to go on the notion of we're not rebuilding, but that is not the case.
In the end, he's not going to become a backup anywhere. And if he does, it's completely irrelevant to me fantasy-wise. But if he goes to a team as a starter, I think, based on wherever he goes, he's going to bring somewhat value. If he goes to the Jets, he'll give more value to Garrett Wilson than he had last year. If he goes to the Vikings, he's going to give Justin Jefferson more value than he had last year.
Sorry to interrupt you. I only say the Rams only because on this thought, Cliff Kingsbury, his old coach that drafted him number one years ago, just became an assistant coach with the Rams. Now, everyone that I talked to is saying that this is going to be Sean McVay's last year. That's why they went all in for Trent Duffy, and Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the coach in waiting. So why won't it be Kyle Murray in waiting? You have an older quarterback. They're probably going to give one more restructured deal to Stafford, and it's a Stafford and McVay show. And then going into 2027, it's Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury in SoFi. What do you think?
And I'll be honest, I guess it's cool. It doesn't really matter. But fantasy-wise, I'm like, anywhere Kyler goes, I'm not really too interested in any of the receivers that he's got. Like, him going to the Vikings, sure, I say it might give Justin Jefferson more advantage, but it's not going to affect me. If anything, I'm not even going to like it for him. Garrett Wilson, the same thing. I'm that against Kyler Murray. If you saw what happened with Trey McBride last year and the amount of production he got after he went down, when Jacoby Brissett started playing quarterback, you saw the difference. And I think teams are starting to realize that Kyler Murray just might not be the guy anymore that he used to be. Ex-Heisman Trophy winner. He's just not there anymore.
Let me give you a little bit of backlash on that. I feel like the year prior to, from the 2024 season, Kyler Murray was coming off that injury, right? So being a little bit immobile took away his best feature, because he's basically a video Madden, Michael Vick kind of player. Also too, the offensive line for Arizona is terrible. It's terrible. Now, they got away with Jacoby Brissett because he was just airing it out. And let's be honest, Jacoby Brissett was doing more traditional quarterback, 3-step drops. That is not Kyler Murray. If you bring Kyler Murray in, you're looking for a player that's going to be a playmaker and use his legs as a dual threat. So, listen, you're getting him at the league minimum, but for a fantasy standpoint, he's definitely an upgrade over J.J. McCarthy if he goes
if he goes there, he's
Minnesota.
Upgrade.
And he's definitely an upgrade, whether we like it or not.
Over Justin Fields?
Over Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, for sure, for Garrett Wilson. So, for us to get upset, it's more so because we don't like the player as much. But from a realistic standpoint, he's a better passer than Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields, and J.J. McCarthy. And I'll leave it there.
Yeah, and honestly, this is why I love the offseason, because all these moves, it's very interesting to see where a guy like him will end up. So used to seeing him in that Cardinals jersey.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
Now, there's a couple of guys also that are still undecided, like a Wandale Robinson. I think, depending on if he goes back to New York or somewhere else, he could be valuable elsewhere. Good wide receiver too. Another great one, Stefon Diggs. Patriots informed that he will be released, and good. This is a guy that is completely off my radar in terms of fantasy. I want nothing to do with him.
I can't agree with you more.
Good riddance.
They had a, like one of those memes, and they're like, top 5 destinations for Diggs. 1, jail. Not that I'm saying anyone should go to jail, but just the off seasons that this man has had, the relationship with Cardi B, the boat last year. There's just a whole lot of stuff surrounding this player, and I feel like it's very Antonio Brownish going into this offseason.
Yeah, a lot of Antonio Brown vibes, definitely.
And honestly, people might think I'm crazy, but listen, a lot of people look down on that. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a job till July. Now,
yeah, some bum will sign him.
Somebody will sign him, but I don't think there's a rush for the Stefon Diggs market just because of all the off-field
They're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. Yeah, he's got a lot of open cases, and that's something I know. Sure, we joke around about fantasy being our guys and stuff, but in reality, the way that they act off the field is very important to our fantasy team.
Of course, you don't know if the suspension is going to come. You don't know if they're going to get cut.
Yeah.
This plays into how you're going to be drafting, and like Mike likes to say, my favorite word, utilization.
Yeah.
So, if the player's not being utilized, he has off-season and off-the-field issues, stay away. Big buyer beware for sure.
He is a buyer beware. And same with Tyreek Hill, who's also getting released from the Dolphins or has been released. He's another one. You know what? He's one of the guys that I will leave out as bait for somebody else to pick him up or to draft him, because it's not worth my time, and at that point in the draft, I will have somebody else that I can draft onto my fantasy team other than these two knuckleheads. But
yeah, I feel like their prime has passed. They're both in their early to mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So not to say that they're done. I think they both have one good year in them each. I just think that the time has the rubber has met the road, and at times when you're younger and you act out, a team could probably take it like a TO.
Yeah.
But once your talent starts to diminish, you start to get injuries. Now you're still a locker room off-season problem. Yeah, off the field problem. They're not going to take it lightly. I could see those two guys, not being signed until maybe the draft or something, just because there's no rush to sign them. We still have to go through this free agency trade period, and then the draft. And the draft, I'll take a 22-year-old kid that's more motivated and wants to make more money than a 32-year-old vet that's disgruntled and has a problem every day under the sun.
Yep. Now, we already talked about J.J. McCarthy, but yeah, the Vikings actively looking to move on from him. Don't be surprised if you even see Kirk Cousins end up there too. So some other notable free agents, you just mentioned Kirk Cousins, Malik Willis, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Alec Pierce, Mike Evans, Romeo Doubs, Deebo Samuel, Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, Najee, Njoku, and Isaiah Likely. Who is, to you, out of all those guys, are you most interested to see go somewhere other than the team they're on now?
I want to say Mike Evans, only because I know, it was in the news that the Bills made, a move. But I feel like this is a prominent number one receiver. Yeah. And he might be older than the guys that I just spoke about, but he's professional. and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different level. It's kind of like MJ and then everybody else. And not to say that those guys aren't talented too. So for me, I got to say either Mike Evans or an outside chance. I know we spoke about K9. How about Travis Etienne in a Kansas City uniform?
Oof.
Now, that's a first-round pick, 12 overall, I could get behind because he would be so prominent in the pass game.
I can picture him being like a little Jerick McKinnon for the.
Oh my God! I was just gonna say that.
I mean?
I'm like Jerick McKinnon on steroids. Like it would be insane. A video game.
Absolutely,
he's a video game,
man. It's 100%, and I could totally see it. And he's. Those are probably the two guys, and along with Rico Dowdle, those guys I'm very interested in because
it's the running backs,
prominent players, and then the running backs. Those guys just get workhorse roles that we've seen. Travis Etienne and Dowdle was even a workhorse in Dallas, basically.
I would keep an eye out on these two teams for Alec Pierce, Tennessee Titans. They're looking for another weapon for Cameron Ward, and the New York Giants. You're going to have Wandale Robinson get a big payday. I think Alec Pierce might get a little bit less money, but he's a great down the field threat. And if you have another injury with Malik with that knee, Alec Pierce could take over that X role.
A few hours ago, I heard also that Alec Pierce is looking, or the Patriots are looking at Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I could see that as well, just because now, with the Diggs departure, I think also, too, a big trade candidate for them is A.J. Brown. I think I said that a year ago. Len, hopefully we have the tape of that. I said going into last season that I could see the Patriots deal for Philadelphia's A.J. Brown just because of the rapport with Mike Vrabel. He had him in Tennessee, so it'd make a great combo again. And they're used to each other, and I feel like he's worn out his welcome in Philly. Don't you agree?
I think that, it's a stretch, mainly because I think they're going to go for some young talent too. I think New England, they might not want to give up too much, but they do have a lot of cap space.
Right.
Now, let's get into the big topic today, the trades. The biggest trades that happened, groundbreaking trades in the NFL. Mr. David Montgomery completely moved, traded to the Houston Texans. This opens the door up completely for Jahmyr Gibbs. And honestly, I think you can expect a lot of work from in Houston. I think he's going to get a lot of snaps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, again, I think he will be in a 60-40 with what's his name? Woody
Marks.
Woody Marks. I was gonna say Woody Harrelson. Not Woody the actor. Woody Marks. Yeah, I think Woody Marks came on great last season too, second-year player. But with David Montgomery, I think he's winding towards the end of his career, and this probably will be his last stop. But this definitely is writing on the wall. Joe Mixon just got cut a couple of hours ago.
Yep.
So he's back on the street. But, Montgomery, I'm not really too excited about him fantasy. He's still like a flex starter, bench, maybe RB2, bye-week filler, 10th round pick.
To me, he's less valuable than he was going into the draft last year, even being alongside Jahmyr Gibbs. I liked that offense.
Worst offensive line, too.
Yeah, that's what other thing I was
The Texans' biggest problem, especially in that divisional game against the Pats, was they could not protect C.J. Stroud. I know a lot of people were on Stroud because he looks like he was getting the take under the table and he was just giving the ball away. But they didn't, by any means, they weren't protecting him. So, now you bring in a running back like David Montgomery, who had a top 5 line for the last 3 seasons. I feel like the line doesn't really move for me with David Montgomery. It's really nothing to get excited about.
But we'll get into it in a minute. For Jahmyr Gibbs, this is huge. Another groundbreaking trade, which I am very interested in this guy. Mr. DJ Moore traded to the Buffalo Bills in a little package deal. This gives Josh Allen a weapon. I think everybody involved in this trade, being Colston Loveland, Luther Bird, and Caleb Williams, I think everybody sees a little more value except for a guy like Khalil Shakir. I think he takes a bit of a hit, but even James Cook, this is good for him. Josh Allen, Loveland, Burden.
I will say that, going into it rankings-wise, DJ Moore was at 45, wide receiver 45. This definitely bolsters him up to like 20.
Huge.
19. He is going to get the majority of those looks. I mean, it was kind of like, we just spoke about this player, but Stefon Diggs back in the day when he moved on from Minnesota to Buffalo, he got that boost as well. And if they don't bring in anyone, which all the DJ Moore dynasty owners are praying for, you are looking at your wide receiver 1 in fantasy just because of the Josh Allen effect. And I mean, really, his only competition is Dalton Kincaid and Shakira.
I mean, he had a tough time last year in Chicago, but when he did get the rock, he looked very promising. I'm looking now, he only had 4 games over 12.8 fantasy points in full PPR. So, and the highest game he had was 23.4 points. So, we've seen much more. I saw him score 50 points for you about 3 years ago on a Thursday night. So when he was back with what was that? Justin Fields.
Yeah, and I had the
R.I.P. Yeah, and that was a good.
That was a nice
little stack.
A nice 100-point night against Patty.
Yeah. But so that's what I'm saying. For this, I am very interested in DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland because of this trade.
Oh, well,
those 3 guys I think are the most valuable.
As much people want to talk about DJ Moore and how it will affect him fantasy-wise, I think for Colston Loveland, which I brought up a couple of minutes ago, this is huge because not only was Caleb Williams like 70% of the time targeting the tight end, it will now double just because of the vacancy of those targets of DJ Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people want to put it in the hands of Luther Burden. Luther Burden, for me, is more of a field stretcher, so it's like kind of like an Alec Pierce.
He had his position. Oh, he had his games, though, where he was, getting high target volume.
But a lot of people are overlooking the Rome Odunze effect.
Yeah.
I feel like Rome Odunze will finish higher than Luther Burden.
I agree.
That is me. He was drafted to be the number 1 years back. In that Malik Neighbors draft. So I think this is where it comes to fruition. And they just got rid of his biggest, roadblock, which was DJ Moore.
This move basically solidifies that, is that they were expecting that. But, again.
I think the Bears went out. They get a second-round pick for DJ Moore, and they get rid of the money. A second-round pick is huge.
Burden, the reason why I liked Burden is because Ben Johnson drafted him. He drafted Colston Loveland. These are his guys. The first 2 picks he made as the Chicago Bears head coach were those 2 players. And he's building his offense around those 2 players. And Monangai. I mean, he's got his team. I think that the Bears are good. I think this is good for them. I think this is good for the Bills. It opens up a lot. And you're absolutely right about Odunze. Everybody's sleeping on him because everybody's talking about Burden. But he will not be a burden to your team. We'll put it that way. These guys will not be a burden.
And watch out for Ben Johnson because he loves to stack the receiver position. Don't be surprised if he doesn't go out and get a slot receiver in the draft with that second-round pick. And he'll pick some guy out of Fresno State you never heard of.
Oh, he's so good.
And he becomes a PPR monster.
He's so good.
Ben Johnson, great offensive play caller, proved that he could be a coach in this league. So now he has got to, be consistent.
So let's get on to the main event, the big topic. Mr. Puma, I challenge you, all right? So listen, the big debate. After all these big reportings, Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson now remain solo in their backfields without their respective cohorts, Tyler Algier being gone and David Montgomery being gone. So Puma, I'm going to ask you this once. Who is the 101 going into the fantasy 2026 football season? Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson? I know my guy.
I know your guy. And you know what? I've been thinking long and hard about 4 hours about this. I'm going to go with Bijan and beyond.
Wow.
Now, here's why. Both great players. You can't go wrong.
I was going to say, you can't go wrong.
You cannot go wrong with this pick. I will say that if we are talking about safety, right? Because picking in the first round, you want to make sure the biggest ability is availability, Mike. And again, you can't go wrong with this pick. I lean Bijan only because of these 2 factors. Guy hasn't missed a game since he's been in the league. I know he's had Tyler Algier behind.
He's definitely durable.
He's definitely durable, but no Tyler Algier. I mean, you could say the same,
for Mr. Gibbies.
With Gibbies, no Monty, right? So it's basically 1 and 1A. But here's my deciding factor, right? I feel like Gibbs, the Lions haven't found a really great play caller since Ben Johnson has left. It was Dan Campbell, so now he gets Geno involved. I'm not saying Gibbs sucks. Hear me out. But the last couple of weeks, he was kind of missing. Look at that Minnesota game in Christmas, right? Christmas with the Netflix game. Where was Gibbs? There's some games that 3 touchdowns is away. 3 touchdowns goes away. Where
Minnesota was also destroying Jared Goff.
Right.
Game.
Where Bijan, it's a little more consistent. It's kind of like he'll have his big games, but he'll still get you 20.
Okay, so that's your point. So Bijan Robinson, because he's a little more consistent, you're saying?
A little more consistent, and you have a coach coming in with Kevin Stefanski, who made Nick Chubb in Cleveland #1, like top 10 fantasy running back. Judkins, top 10 fantasy running back. He runs the ball.
I'll tell you why I don't agree. I like Gibbs simply for the fact that he's staying on a consistent offense. Right now, the Falcons, to me, seem a little bit in limbo with Penix coming back and no Kirk Cousins. I don't know what to expect from them. And I like the fact that they have that powerful offense in Detroit. Mm-hmm. They still have Gibbs. They still have all their guys. They still have their quarterback.
Again, you can't go wrong with this.
You can't go wrong with this pick at all. You can't. But I'm giving my side, and I can make a case for Bijan too. He's probably the most talented player in the NFL. But again, in terms of the teams, now I'm looking at the team. Player for player, these guys are even. But the team, and I'm going to have to pick, I'm going to have to lean on the Detroit side.
I will throw out there, I'm a big division guy. Packers shut them down twice this year.
Tough division.
Minnesota shut them down once this year. And I can't.
No, Minnesota shut him down twice.
And Chicago. I believe he did some work against them one time, but I'm not sure about twice.
The last game. No, he's had 20 points against them both times. Remember the second week they beat him 52-21.
Yeah, but week 1 he didn't do nothing against Green Bay.
Yeah,
and they're getting Parsons back. For
15 points.
For me, it's like Bijan's going against Tampa, who just destroyed.
Yeah.
The Saints destroyed. And then who's that third team?
Panthers.
Destroy. Make a real L for that.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. You can't go wrong. In the end, I mean, we're going to talk more about it. We're going to do a way too early mock draft, rookie rankings. I mean, Puma, we got to get back to business, baby.
Yeah, and we are back in business, season 2, and it's the beginning steps are only starting.
It's only beginning. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you think. Do you like Puma's flannel shirt? Should we wear costumes next? I don't know. Otherwise, please, again, stay tuned. Follow us. We want to know what you're thinking. Thanks again. I'm Mike Meals.
Joey Puma, the Puma. You already know. 7-time Super Bowl champ. How you doing?
Season 2, episode 1, completely over. Master your game?
I guess so. Master your game.
Master your game.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to get back into it.